Imagine walking through the streets of a bustling city, brushing shoulders with kings, merchants, and scholars, unaware that many of them share a secret language, a hidden handshake, and a loyalty that supersedes their national flag. Throughout history, the most consequential decisions weren't always made in parliament buildings or on open battlefields. They were made in candlelit basements, hidden mountain fortresses, and windowless university halls. We aren't talking about caped villains from a movie. We are talking about groups of people who realized that true power doesn't need a spotlight. It needs a shadow. From the ancient world to the digital age, secret societies have acted as the invisible tectonic plates of civilization, shifting the world beneath our feet. Today, we are pulling back the heavy velvet curtain on the most powerful secret organizations in every era. We will explore how they shaped the laws you live by, the religions you know, and the history you were taught. Lock the doors and lean in, because once you know how the shadows operate, you'll never look at a history book the same way again. We begin our journey in the ancient world, specifically in northern Iran during the 11th century. This is the era of the Hashashin, more commonly known as the Assassins. Founded by the brilliant and charismatic Hassan Isaba, this group wasn't just a band of mercenaries. They were a highly organized, ideologically driven order that operated out of the impregnable mountain fortress of Alamut. They realized they couldn't win a conventional war against the massive Seljuk Empire or the invading Crusaders. So they perfected a different kind of warfare: the surgical strike. Their members, known as Fedayeen, were masters of disguise and patience. They would spend months or even years infiltrating a target's inner circle, living as a humble servant or a trusted advisor, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver a message from their grandmaster. They didn't want to conquer lands. They wanted to control the minds of those who did. By removing high-ranking viziers and generals in broad daylight, they created a psychological atmosphere of total vulnerability. Even the great Saladin reportedly woke up one morning to find a poisoned dagger and a note on his pillow, a silent warning that his life belonged to the mountains. The Hashashin proved that a small, secret group with enough conviction could hold the entire known world hostage. As the medieval period matured, the focus shifted from the mountains of Iran to the dusty roads of the Holy Land with the rise of the Knights Templar. Originally founded as a humble order of 9 knights to protect pilgrims in Jerusalem, they quickly grew into the most powerful financial and military institution in Europe. While they were a public order of monks, their inner workings, rituals, and financial networks were shrouded in absolute secrecy. They created the world's first banking system, allowing a traveler to deposit gold in London and withdraw it in Jerusalem using a coded letter of credit. This gave them immense leverage over the kings of Europe, many of whom were deeply in debt to the order. But it was their secret initiation rites that eventually became their undoing. Rumors of strange ceremonies and hidden agendas circulated, giving King Philip IV of France the excuse he needed to move against them on a single Friday in 1307. Although the order was officially dissolved, legends persist that their massive wealth and secret knowledge didn't just vanish. Many believe they went underground, planting the seeds for future organizations that would eventually challenge the authority of the church and the crown. Moving into the late Middle Ages and the early Renaissance, we encounter the Vemic courts of the Holy Roman Empire. These were secret vigilante tribunals that operated in what is now Germany. In a world where the official legal system was often corrupt or non-existent in rural areas, the Holy Vime stepped in to provide a brutal shadow justice. Their members, known as the initiated, recognized each other through secret signs and passwords. A defendant would often wake up to find a summons nailed to their door with a dagger. If they didn't show up to a secret midnight meeting in a forest or a hidden cellar, the court would pass judgment in their absence. These courts were so feared that even high-ranking nobles trembled at the mention of them. They operated on the principle that if the law of the land failed, the law of the shadow would prevail. They were eventually suppressed as central governments grew stronger, but they left behind a legacy of unofficial power structures that proved ordinary citizens could organize in the dark to police the world above. By the time we reached the 18th century, the era of the Enlightenment, the nature of secret societies shifted from survival and justice to the world of ideas. This is the birthplace of the most famous name on our list, the Illuminati. Founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt in Bavaria, this group had a goal that was radical for its time. They wanted to replace religious influence in public life with reason and secularism. Weishaupt realized that his ideas would be seen as treasonous and heretical, So he structured his group like an onion, with layers of secrecy. Only those at the very center knew the true goals of the organization. They infiltrated Masonic lodges to recruit the elite thinkers of the day. Although the Bavarian government officially banned the group only a few years after its founding, the Illuminati became the ultimate boogeyman for monarchies across Europe. People began to see their invisible hand behind every revolution and social upheaval, including the French Revolution. Whether the group actually survived its ban is a topic of intense debate, but the idea of a secret elite steering the course of human history towards a specific ideological goal was firmly planted in the global consciousness. In the same era, but across the Atlantic, secret societies were playing a pivotal role in the birth of a new nation. The Sons of Liberty in the American colonies were a clandestine network of patriots who organized resistance against British rule. While figures like Samuel Adams and Paul Revere are now household names, at the time, their meetings in the back rooms of taverns and under the Liberty Tree were highly illegal. They used code names, secret signals, and a sophisticated intelligence network to coordinate the Boston Tea Party and other acts of defiance. They proved that a secret society could be a powerful tool for liberation, acting as the nervous system for an uprising that would eventually change the map of the world. They were a bridge between the old world of aristocratic secrets and the new world of democratic ideals, using secrecy as a shield until they were strong enough to step into the light. During the 19th century, as the world became more interconnected, secret societies took on a more nationalistic and sometimes criminal character. In Italy, the Carbonari, or charcoal burners, were a network of secret revolutionary cells dedicated to the unification of Italy and the overthrow of foreign rule. They used elaborate rituals and a hierarchy of ranks to protect themselves from informants. Their influence was so vast that it paved the way for the Risorgimento, the movement that eventually created the modern Italian state. Meanwhile, in China, the Heaven and Earth Society, also known as the Triads, emerged as a secret organization dedicated to restoring the Ming Dynasty. They used complex hand signals and poems to identify each other. Over time, as their political goals became harder to achieve, many of these cells morphed into the organized crime syndicates we know today. This transition shows a dark truth about secret societies. Once a powerful network is built in the shadows, it can easily be repurposed for profit once its original mission is gone. In the early 20th century, the world was on the brink of total collapse, and secret societies were right in the middle of it. The Black Hand, a secret military society in Serbia, had a goal of uniting all South Slavic people under Serbian rule. In 1914, members of this group orchestrated the removal of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo. They didn't just want to take out a leader, they wanted to trigger a geopolitical shift. They succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. But the result was the first global conflict in history, a catastrophe that claimed millions of lives. This is perhaps the most chilling example of the power of a secret society. A small group of people, acting in the dark, can set off a chain reaction that engulfs the entire planet. It proves that secrecy combined with fanaticism is the most volatile substance in history. As we move into the mid-20th century and the era of the Cold War, the nature of secret societies changed again. Power became concentrated in the hands of intelligence agencies that functioned very much like the secret orders of the past. However, within the hallowed halls of elite universities, older traditions continued. Skull and Bones at Yale University is perhaps the most famous collegiate secret society. Founded in 1832, it has produced numerous presidents, Supreme Court justices, and titans of industry. While they don't openly plot world domination, their power lies in the Old Boys Network. By forging unbreakable bonds of loyalty among the future leaders of the country, they create an invisible web of influence that spans across government and business. When two bonesmen face each other in a boardroom or a diplomatic negotiation, they share a history and a set of secrets that the rest of the world isn't privy to. It's a modernized version of the medieval guilds, where the real value isn't the knowledge you have, but the people you know in the dark. In the modern era, the digital age has given rise to a new kind of secret society, one that exists without a central headquarters or a formal list of members. Cicada 3301 is a prime example. Starting in 2012, a series of complex puzzles appeared online, requiring advanced knowledge of cryptography, literature, and philosophy to solve. Many believe it was a recruitment tool for a highly sophisticated secret group, perhaps an intelligence agency or a high-tech think tank. Unlike the Assassins or the Templars, this group used the anonymity of the internet as their mountain fortress. It shows that in the 21st century, Secrecy isn't just about hidden handshakes. It's about hidden code. The power of these groups lies in their ability to operate across borders, recruiting the brightest minds to work on agendas that remain completely opaque to the general public. Another contemporary group that occupies the space between public knowledge and secret influence is the Bilderberg Group. Every year, around 130 of the world's most powerful people, prime ministers, CEOs, and media moguls, meet behind closed doors in a luxury hotel. No minutes are taken, no reporters are allowed, and no press releases are issued. While the participants claim it's just an informal forum for discussion, critics point out that when the people who run the world talk in secret, the rest of us should be paying attention. It represents a soft version of a secret society, where the power doesn't come from a ritual dagger, but from the consensus reached by an unelected global elite. It's the evolution of the secret council, adapted for a world of globalized capital and high-stakes diplomacy. We must also consider the role of the Rosicrucians, a mysterious group that purportedly surfaced in the early 17th century. They claimed to possess ancient wisdom and a secret plan to spark a universal reformation of mankind. Their manifestos caused a sensation across Europe, though nobody could ever quite find a physical headquarters or verify the existence of their grandmasters. Some historians believe the group was an intellectual hoax designed to inspire people to pursue science and alchemy, while others believe they were a genuine underground network of scholars. Regardless of their physical reality, the Rosicrucians proved that a secret society could exert power through the sheer force of a mystery. By making people believe there was a hidden group working for the good of humanity, they influenced the development of the Enlightenment and the scientific revolution. They showed that secrecy can be a powerful tool for cultural engineering. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, founded in late 19th century Britain, shows a more mystical side of secret societies. This group was dedicated to the study of the occult, magic, and paranormal phenomena. Its members included famous poets like W.B. Yeats and writers like Aleister Crowley. While they weren't plotting to overthrow governments, they sought a different kind of power, the power over the human psyche and the hidden laws of the universe. Their influence on modern literature, psychology, and the New Age movement is immense. They remind us that secret societies aren't always about money or politics. Sometimes, they are about the human desire to peek behind the curtain of reality itself. In many parts of Africa, secret societies have played a vital role in community governance for centuries. The Poro and Sande societies of West Africa are excellent examples. These groups are responsible for the education and initiation of young people into adulthood, but they also function as a shadow government. They have their own laws, their own courts, and their own police force. In times of crisis or conflict, the leaders of these societies can intervene in a way that formal political leaders cannot. They represent a decentralized form of power that is deeply rooted in tradition and protected by a strict code of silence. They prove that secret societies can be a stabilizing force, providing a sense of continuity and law in regions where the state is weak or absent. The Knights of Pythias, an American secret society founded during the Civil War, was based on the story of Damon and Pythias and focused on the ideals of friendship, charity, and benevolence. While it seems harmless, at its peak, it had over 1 million members, including presidents and powerful politicians. The power of these fraternal orders lay in their ability to provide a social safety net and a sense of belonging in a rapidly changing world. By creating a secret brotherhood, they could mobilize resources and influence local politics in a way that few other organizations could match. They were the social capital of their era, converted into a secret currency. Why are we so fascinated by these groups? Perhaps it's because they represent the what-if of history. What if the major events of the past weren't accidents, but plans? What if there is a logic to the chaos that we just can't see? Secret societies give us a way to make sense of the world, even if that sense is a bit dark. They represent the ultimate human desire, to be in the know, to be part of the inner circle that truly understands how the world works. But they also serve as a warning. Secrecy, while a powerful tool for organization and protection, can easily become a tool for corruption and exclusion. When power is exercised in the dark, there is no accountability to the people who are affected by it. Looking back at all these eras, we see a recurring pattern. A secret society usually emerges during a time of transition or oppression. The assassins rose during a time of empire building and religious conflict. The Illuminati emerged during the struggle between faith and reason. The Sons of Liberty appeared during the birth of modern democracy. These groups are the response of the human spirit to a world that feels rigid or broken. They are the innovation labs of history, where new ideas and strategies are tested in the safety of the shadows before being unleashed on the world. But there is also a cost to this secrecy. Many of these groups, like the Carbonari or the Black Hand, eventually saw their goals achieved, but at a massive price in human life and stability. Others, like the Knights Templar, became so powerful that they became a threat to the very systems they were supposed to protect, leading to their violent destruction. Secrecy creates a bubble, and inside that bubble, it is easy for a group to lose touch with the broader human consequences of their actions. The Fedayeen of Alamut truly believed they were doing the work of the divine, just as the members of the Black Hand believed they were heroes of their nation. Secrecy can turn a conviction into a weapon. As we look at the modern landscape, we have to ask, who are the secret societies of today? Is it the tech giants who control our data through opaque algorithms? Is it the high-frequency traders who move billions of dollars in milliseconds using code that no human can fully audit? Is it the deep-state intelligence networks that operate with minimal oversight? The methods have changed, from daggers to data, from hidden fortresses to encrypted servers. But the principle remains the same. True power often prefers the silent, invisible route. The secret society of the 21st century might not have a ritual robe or a hidden handshake, but it has something even more powerful: the ability to shape your reality without you ever knowing it's happening. The history of these groups also teaches us about the fragility of power. No matter how secret or powerful an organization is, it eventually leaves traces. The Templars left their castles and their ledgers. The Illuminati left their letters and their pamphlets, and the Black Hand left their archives. History is an exercise in detective work, piecing together the fragments left behind by those who tried to remain invisible. The very fact that we can talk about these groups today means that, in the long run, the light eventually finds its way into the shadows. We also see that secret societies often serve as a mirror for the societies that produce them. The Masons reflected the Enlightenment's focus on architecture and geometry. The Golden Dawn reflected the Victorian interest in spiritualism. The tech-focused mystery groups of today reflect our obsession with information and complexity. If you want to understand the anxieties and aspirations of any era, look at the groups that decided to meet in secret. They are the concentrated essence of their time, filtered through the need for survival and influence. There is a certain romanticism to the idea of the secret society, the hidden knowledge, the unbreakable bond, the noble mission against the corrupt world. It's why we love movies like Eyes Wide Shut or books like The Da Vinci Code. But the reality is often much more pragmatic and sometimes more grim. It's about people looking for an edge, looking for a way to protect their interests, or looking for a way to force their vision of the world into reality. It's about the human drive to curate and control. So, where does that leave us? Are we just pawns in a game played by people we can't see? Not necessarily. The greatest secret of all the secret societies is that their power is often based on the belief that they are more powerful than they actually are. The mystery is their greatest asset. By pulling back the curtain, we take away that asset. Understanding history, the real, messy, shadow-filled history, is the best way to protect ourselves from being manipulated. It allows us to recognize the signs of invisible power and to ask the questions that those in the shadows would rather we didn't. In every era, from the candlelit rooms of the past to the glowing screens of the present, the struggle for influence continues. As long as there is power to be gained and ideas to be protected, there will be groups that choose to operate in secret. They are a permanent feature of the human landscape, the dark matter of our social universe. They remind us that the world is always more complex than it appears on the surface, and that the most important stories are often the ones that are never supposed to be told. The journey through these eras shows us that while a secret can change the world, it rarely stays a secret forever. The Hashashin were eventually crushed by the Mongols. The Bavarian government eventually found the papers of the Illuminati. The power of Skull and Bones is now discussed in open political debates. The light of history is relentless. It may take decades, centuries, or incluso millennia, but the truth has a way of surfacing once the people who guarded it are gone. As we close this chapter on the Kings of the Shadows, Remember that history is a living thing. We aren't just looking at the past. We are looking at the blueprints of our own world. The secret societies of yesterday built the structures of today, and the secret groups of today are building the world of tomorrow. Stay curious, stay skeptical, and always keep an eye on the shadows. Because in the game of power, the most important moves are often the ones you don't see coming. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the invisible history of the world. We've traveled from the mountains of Alamat to the halls of Yale, from the forests of Germany to the encrypted corners of the internet. It's a story of ambition, mystery, and the eternal human desire to shape the world according to a hidden plan. The shadows will always be there, but so will the seekers of truth. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp, because history is always more than meets the eye. The past is a vast and mysterious place, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface. Join us again as we continue to explore the secrets, the mysteries, and the hidden forces that make our world what it is today. Stay curious,